Hi everybody, welcome to week 2 of the Google Classroom class. Hopefully by now you've had a chance to create a class and add some students and even invite us as fellow instructors. Now, this week, kind of the meat of Google Classroom, we're going to look at the assignments and announcements. But first things first, how to get there, right? So if you want to search for classroom.google.com or if you want to hit those Google Apps 9 boxes, Google Classroom will be one of your options. So that's a quick and easy way to get to Google Classroom. We're going to open up my training classroom, but you can open up any classroom that you're a part of by clicking on the name of the class. So it takes us right to that stream window. And like I said last week, the stream is the main part of where the students and yourself, where you're going to be adding resources and interacting and receiving assignments, giving assignments, all that happens in the stream. So if you want to add an assignment or announcement, you hover over the plus sign in the bottom right hand corner. Now you might see 5 options, you might see 4, and that depends on which extensions you have installed. I just happen to have the Cami PDF extension, so that's why I get that little feature. But the main two tools in this bottom right hand corner you're going to use are the creating announcements and creating assignments. Let me tell you the difference. An announcement is mainly used if you want to share something. So you want to share a website that you want the kids to visit, an article you want the kids to read, a video, anything that's on the web you can share. That's the beauty of Google Classroom. Now the difference between an announcement and an assignment is that with an announcement, you're not really getting anything back via Google Classroom. So that means that the students are going to watch the video and that's it. Maybe you have a worksheet or something that you want them to fill out. That's kind of on the side. You're not getting it back via Google Classroom. You're getting that back in person. An assignment, the difference between an announcement and assignment is when you want something back, you use an assignment. So for example, let's say after the video you have 3 questions you'd like them to answer on a Google Docs document. So that's when you'd use an assignment. And I'll show you the difference, okay? I'll show you the difference. But let's go ahead. Let's start by creating an announcement. So again, I've hovered over that little plus sign in the bottom right-hand corner, and I've clicked on announcement. All right, let's kind of look at what we got here. We've got a menu here. So this announcement is for which classes and also which students. And we'll look at that, why those are added a little bit later. What's the main text? You got to add some kind of text. So this is going to be map skills, resources. Okay. If you want to sort things by topic, let's say this is something all year long and you want to break it down by units, that's a nice place to kind of have the ability to do that. Down here are the 4 different things you can share. First things first, you can share a file. So let's say you have a PDF saved on your computer that you'd want the kids to read. You'd go ahead and click on that paperclip just like you'd add an attachment to your email. The second thing is, let's say you have that a file in your Google Drive that you would like the students to take a look at. You can go ahead and link that from your Google Drive. You can link a YouTube video, or you can just use this link to add a link. And like I said, the beauty of Google Classroom is that you could share anything that's on the internet, you can share it via Google Classroom. So in this case, for this announcement, this map skills resources, I have 2 things I'd like the kids to check out. Again, I said check out because this is an announcement. I'm sending something to them. I'm not really expecting anything back from them. I just have some content that I'd like them to check out. So I have this brain pop video that I'd like them to look at, and then I have this atlas reading I'd like them to complete. So first things first, I'm going to copy the website URL, and then I'm going to hop back to my Google Classroom. This is a link. So I go ahead and click on the link, I go ahead and add that, and now you can see that my brain pop link is here. Now I also want to share this link, so I hop over to World Book, go ahead, copy that, Control C, I add yet another link, Control V, Nothing is stopping me from adding a Google Drive file or an attachment, but it just so happens that the two resources I have are web-based resources. And then I go ahead and post. So now you'll see that my stream has been updated. You got a nice little thumbnail, but the students would see this. The students would just be able to click on the URL and it'll take them right to the Map Skills video, and click on this URL, it'll take them right to the atlas. Again, this is an announcement, and the reason why I used an announcement is because I didn't really expect anything back. I didn't really have anything that I want the kids to give me back after they're done watching watching the video and reading that article. All right, so that's an announcement. Now, if I make an assignment, the window looks similar, but there's a couple more drop down. So then this is going to be our Map Skills assignment. You can add as much text as you would like. So you can even enter down and add different text there. Okay. The window looks very similar to the announcements, except right here you can see that there are due dates if you'd like to add them. So this time though, because I'm a middle school teacher, let's put me in the guise of a middle school teacher. I'm going to use a similar activity in 3 or 4 classes, let's say. So what's cool is that Google Classroom allowed you to see all of the classes that you're a teacher for. So instead of just simply having to recreate the wheel, go into every single class and add this assignment, add these resources, add all that jazz, I can go ahead and have the machine copy it into multiple classes, which is super nice. Also, let's say I'm doing some differentiation and I've got some students I'd like to work on this activity. Some students I'd like to work on something similar, but maybe a little bit enriched for them. Either way, I could do just like I selected multiple classroom. I could go ahead and select multiple students. Now this class, it's my training classroom. Don't really have any students in here. But when you get all of your students into your classroom, a whole list of your 20 some odd students would appear here, and you can pick and choose who's seeing which assignments. That's just a real nice way of differentiating for your students. So again, I accessed that by clicking on these menus up here. All right, I'm actually going to use the same resources that I did for that first announcement for this activity. So I'm just going back to these websites. Again, anything on the web you can share, so I'm adding them as links. Now I want to do something a little different. I have this pre-prepared training document. So I went in and made this little questionnaire I have. I want the students to fill out. Now I made that in Google Drive. So instead of adding a link, I'm going to add a Google Drive document. So this links up to your Google Drive. So you can see that I've got that document right there. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. All right, now this is where the magic happens. So I've added this Google Drive file. Because it's a Google Drive file, students can view it. Students can all edit it. And I'll show you why you'd use that feature in a second. The most commonly used feature in this setting is the make a copy for each student. So what that means is that when there's students in my class, and we'll look at the student view next week, but when there are students in my class and I assign this, boom, Google's going to go ahead and make a copy of this exact template for each kid. You know, imagine like you walked over to the copy machine and you burned off a couple copies. It's going to be the same thing where the machine's going to boom, here's a copy for this kid, here's a copy for this kid, here's a copy for this kid. It's just a real nice way to quickly disseminate documents. All right, now I mentioned why would you use the everyone edit the same document feature. So again, I've got a little presentation right here that I want the kids, so you can see that why is Google Classroom the greatest by student 1, by student 2, by student 3. So I want to kind of create this single resource for this topic, whatever that topic might be. And that's when I use the everyone can edit the same document feature. So let me show you. Again, I'm in Google Drive. That file's in Google Drive. All right, here it is right here. And I go ahead and add that. This time, I'm going to choose that students can edit file. So what that means is instead of everybody getting their own copy, what this means is that everyone will be editing the same copy. So all the students will be able to hop onto this one file. Now, I'll be honest, it can get a little hairy when it comes to everybody editing something simultaneously. Sometimes kids might hop onto other kids' pages, whatever. So just be aware of when you're using this feature, you're saying to everybody, all right, we're all writing on the same document. Now, of course, there's still version history, so if you want to see who wrote what, you can still check that out in version history, which is just a great feature. But I'm just giving you a little bit of a heads up. If you do use this feature, just be prepared for a little bit of a little bit pushback initially, but I've seen quite a few classrooms use this. All right, either way, I've made an assignment. I've added a copy of this document for each kid. This one, I want everybody to edit the same document. I've shared some resources. Now, let's say I would actually like to save this. Let's say it's Sunday night. I'm kind of getting prepped for the week, but I don't want the kids to see this yet. What's nice is that Google allows you to schedule your posts and also save your drafts. So, let's say, for example, I know that 8 a.m. on Tuesday, I'm going to be doing this activity. I can go ahead and schedule this post. So that means I might cook it up and get it ready on Sunday night, but it's not going to appear in the student's Google Classroom until Tuesday morning. On the flip side, let's say I cook something up on Sunday night and I'm not quite sure when I'm going to get to it. Maybe Monday afternoon, maybe Tuesday morning, whenever. I can go ahead and save it. And so that's what I'm actually going to do this time. I'm going to go ahead and save my draft. So what's nice is that you can see, I see it, right? I'm the teacher. I'm in the teacher's stream. I see these saved posts. The students won't see them. All they'll see are the things that I've posted. So when it comes time for that assignment, Monday afternoon, Tuesday morning, whatever, when it comes time for that assignment, I can go ahead and open it back up. And then from here, I can assign it right away. So let me go ahead and do that. Yes, it's doing that double check because I had done that draft. Now when my kids log in, you can see I've got one student, but now when my kids log in, now they'll be able to interact with these assignments and announcements. So, real quick review. To add something to your Google Classroom, there's kind of two ways that people typically do. Now, I'm not saying you can't create a question. Go ahead, do whatever you'd like. But to create an assignment, you hover over the plus sign in the bottom right-hand corner. Assignments and announcements are pretty much the same, except for their use. Announcements are typically just that, announcements. Things you want to share, resources you want to share with the kids, but you don't really expect anything back via Google Classroom. You use assignments when you want something back. You can still share resources via Google Classroom, but when you use an assignment, the expectation is that the students will be sending you something back. And we're going to look at that next week. One last thing before we go. The three dots will give you, will open up a menu of things you could do once the assignment's been posted. You can edit it, you can delete it, you can copy that link. One thing to remember, this is like a timeline, a stream of information. Let's say, for example, I want to bring this back up to the top. So let's say this is an activity that we did on Friday. I've shared some information. Now it's Monday. And I would like to bring one of my posts back up to the front. Instead of having to reinvent the wheel, instead of having to repost the resources and stuff, you can actually just move posts that have moved towards the bottom of your stream. You can move those posts back up to the top. So now you can see that now this post is on top instead of the assignment. That's just nice. If you have a reoccurring journal, let's say teachers like to use this for journaling. Let's say you have a reoccurring journal. You can go ahead and bring that post back up to the top whenever it's time for the students to journal. All right, see you next week.